What is everyone? This is Star Marvel 718. This is going to be my thoughts, reviews on chapter 1018 of One Piece, Jinbe versus Who's Who. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, this shit was a fucking banger. This is the type of chapter we love that Oda give us. Exposition, story progression, action, bit of comedy. This was a chapter that we love that Oda gives us. I want to start off with the first thing with the cover page, which was Uchi in page one. I thought it was kind of cute, seeing like the little brother, big sister type of like thing going on. We know Uchi loves her little brother. Whatever, it's not great, not something that we really want, but let's get right to that story. First part, pretty much Chaos and Toes. We see that Fugo, Hamlin, and the other gifters that Tama pretty much took over. We seen them helping her back and forth, and just seeing just pretty much like I said, the chaos is going on Kashima, which I'm kind of glad they're showing us like what's going on back over there. We see that now that Tama's being targeted by the little fodder guys that she didn't get a chance to take control of, because first Queen was targeting her because now everybody's starting to realize that she has the power to turn alliances of the beast parts into their side. So now, like I said, she's being the target. Dafu comes in clutch. He ends up saving her when she was being attacked by the fodder guys. Then Gazelleman and Speed, they come through. They helping out. Gazelleman let her know that Kamachio, he's good. They say, we found him. We got him up in the back. Like, he's cool. He's chilling. So that's one thing. The whole dynamic between Zeus and Nami, I like that a lot because it goes back to how when Nami defended Tama and she had like that big sister, like mothering type of vibe to her. That's like, because we all knew like Nami and Big Mom kind of like parallels to each other. Like Big Mom is actually a mom, but she's a bad mom, while Nami is not a mom, but she's a better mom. And I like how when Zeus was saying to her, Nami, can I follow you? Pretty much. And she was like, no. And he's like, what? Like, no, we're partners. Like, yo, if you're going to be on my side, we're going to be equal. So I like how, like the last time they were speaking, she pretty much was like giving him attitude and everything. And, he was heartbroken and he was willing to sacrifice himself for her and pretty much be like, you know what? I want to apologize for how I treated you because all you did was treat me good. And seeing how she forgave him and she's like, you know what? If we're going to be in this for this, for this long haul, this long ride, we're pretty much going to be partners. So, like I said, I like that whole dynamics between Nami and Zeus. CP0, we see that they're a little bit pissed with what's going on with the Rampage because they're saying like 2,000 more Beast Pirates switch alliances down there on Luffy and their alliance side like that. But pretty much they really don't care too much because they mostly after who's head. And then seeing that, now it's like, okay, why they after this dude? Like first you're just thinking, okay, they after this guy because of what? Because he lost a Gomu Gomu no Mi. But then now it's like, no, this guy knows more than what we figure or what we thought he knew, stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let me see. Now we get into the part where Jinbe versus Who's Who. Jinbe versus Who's Who. I love the battle, like how they saw it. It's like a very technical battle. It's not like it's just not like just regular punches, stuff like that. They're actually throwing out techniques. They're dodging back and forth. A lot of shit talking, especially on Who's Who side. Now Who's Who pretty much explains why he's mad at Shanks because I guess he figured because Shanks' crew and stuff, because they stole the food from him, that was pretty much his descent to like where he's at now, like his fall from grace. So I kind of get it because especially with last chapter, him saying that he was pretty much on par with the child genius Rob Lucci and everything like that. So he figured like he was like on a high road to greatness and all that. So we had so after he's saying why he's mad at Shanks and stuff like that, he turns around, he hits Jinbe with a finger pistol, right? And we see that the finger pistol hit Jinbe, which to me is a little bit showing. And what I mean by like showing, we see how Jinbe was able to block Big Mom's attack. Like that pretty much left like no damage. I think he did his like what was that kind of thing? It was called like sharp skin block when Big Mom hit him with the Cavassier. I believe the name of the attack was when she had Napoleon. No damage. But when this guy ended up blocking who's attack? No, not finger pistol. I'm sorry, Fang pistol. When he blocked his Fang pistol, we see Jinbe is bleeding. So we just see like just how much more devastating this guy's attack is comparatively to Big Mom, because you know Big Mom was using Napoleon, which is a sword, and this guy is just pretty much using Rokushiki, his version of the Rokushiki attack, and it actually broke through Jinbe's guard. So like showing like who's who actually has some firepower behind him. Like he's just not all talk and stuff like that. Fang pistol has crazy destructive powers, and then we see how as Jinbe's dodging the repetition of the rapid fire of the Fang pistol, we see like it's just going through the floors and it's hitting the beast power. It's like this thing is like pretty much destructive. Just it's sharp, it's destructive, and it just keeps going to either it runs out of energy or to something that's like I guess uncuttable, or in his version, unbiteable. I guess. Right. So then we see that who's who. Then after he causes damage and everything to Onigashima, he turns around. He does a combination attack, a combination of Rokushiki and Haki, which me because I thought like when he did Rokushiki, it was like its own separate thing. Like you can't really mix, but Haki is like two different. Because it's two different techniques, I figure like it has to be like one's like more willpower, while the other one is like more of like karate style. I believe like more martial arts. But seeing how he was able to mix it too, right? So he did Iron Body, and he did and he infused his fangs into Haki. So he ends up firing an attack and attacking Jinbe with something called what was this called again? It was called Fang Cavalry Flash. I'm sorry, because now I'm actually trying to take notes. Fang Cavalry Flash, and I'm sitting back like, so now we see that it is possible to mix Haki with the Rokushiki attacks. Like I thought that was pretty cool that he doing all that, and also too, pretty much, it just makes me really think like how much stronger did Rob Lucci get? Because if this dude was pretty much comparable to Rob Lucci, and we see he's using Haki, and him and Rob Lucci, I guess, were equals. Well, maybe he's a little stronger because his zone type is ancient zone type. But just seeing that Rob Lucci has like that much more potential for growth, like I really can't wait till this guy comes back. But after he hits Jinbe with the Fang Cavalry Flash, Jinbe deflects it. After he deflects it, he ends up falling up with water bullets. Who ends up dodging that with Shave. And then he started asking Jinbe about Nika. Now, I thought this part was very, very, very interesting because the image we get of Nika, which I'll try to put over here somewhere, the way Nika was like jumping and everything in his silhouette, we see he had like a sword and a shield, a sword and a spear, and it was the same like outline of like when Luffy was in Sky Island, he was celebrating with the peoples, and they were saying Nika was like the sun god, sun warrior, and pretty much what it was, slaves in ancient time will pray to this god for like to be saved and for freedom and things like that. And then he was pretty much saying to Jinbe, well, since you're a former slave and you know you brought the sun pirates and things like that, what do you know about this guy? And we see like this type of question is frustrating Jinbe. Like he don't say much that leads you to that he's being angry, but like just the shade that Oda uses for Jinbe and like and the emotion you see like in his eyes, right? So so we get to that. Then we turn around. Who's Who ends up talking about the legend. Now, my thing about the whole legend about this guy, Nika, right? I feel, is this the reason why like M. Sama has a problem with Blackbeard? Because you know Blackbeard pretty much got credit for breaking out the prisons for Impel Down and everything like that. Since Nika was known as the sun warrior that freed the slaves, right, back in the ancient times, and Blackbeard is a D, and he also freed the people from Impel Down. Is that the reason why M. Sama has a problem with Luffy and Blackbeard? Because they both were there. They both was pretty much part of the escaping of the prisons from Impel Down. So now it kind of makes more sense to why M. Sama has, you know, his or her sights on these two. And obviously, you know, the sun god, Nika, we all know, we all believe that this is Joburg. This is Joburg's real name. So Joburg's real name is Nika. And I believe if it's supposed to be like a take on Nike, which is like the Greek goddess of victory. So now that's gonna be kind of thing like Joburg, gods of victory, sun god. It's like, okay, cool. Then he hits then after Who's starts questioning Jinbe about Nika, he hits Jinbe with a finger pistol, right? Jinbe gets hit, but he kind of like blocks it, but then he used it then he turned around and involved that attack, which is reminiscent of Rob Lucha's attack, finger pistol spot, because he's like doing like a bunch of stabs and pokes, like rapid tempo and type of shots for that. Then it looks like Jinbe uses Conqueror's Haki, because Jinbe was being he was pretty much an onslaught of who's finger pistol. Jinbe uses like a blocker technique, but it's weird because I know like when Oda starts doing like the Black Lightning, that's supposed to be like Conqueror's Haki. Now, here's my thoughts on that, because like me and my boy Marquise was talking about this. Because we see this Black Lightning, right? That's coming like off of Jinbe's body, and then in the next panel you see like whose fingers like bent back and it's like broken and everything. I'll put that over here somewhere like that. Do Jinbe have Conqueror's Haki? And if so, is his Conqueror's Haki defense? And I think it makes sense because back in Whole Cake, when Jinbe first was telling Big Mom that he was leaving her crew to join the Pirate King's crew or the future Pirate King's crew, and she tried to use like life or death against him, and his soul wouldn't move. It had me thinking to when Law was on the rooftop with Big Mom and Kyle and said because of their hockey and because of their strong will, he couldn't move them. Big Mom couldn't use her devil fruit against Jinbe because his soul wouldn't leave his body. Do Jinbe have Conqueror's Haki? Because he was a pirate captain. He showed the traits, the will and everything of a king. And to me, it would make sense because when Luffy was fighting against Kyle turned around and says like only a few could use Conqueror's Haki in his way of like the Conqueror's Haki armor. So is this confirmation of another Straw Hat with Conqueror's Haki, but the defense version of it? Because we know Zoro has the offensive version of it with Ashura. If Jinbe has Conqueror's Haki, Luffy's crew is definitely, in my book, considered officially broken. That's a crew right there of 3 people with Conqueror's Haki, and that's crazy because, like I said, if any Yonko captain, it's usually like 1 or 2 people at most that I know of, right? No, Gold Roger had 3 because he had Rayleigh, he had Odin, and himself, and then Douglas Bullet. But we're not going to count it. That's a movie. But Gold Roger had 3. Is this confirmation that Luffy has 3 as well? So I thought that was very, very interesting that Jinbe may have Conqueror's Haki, but not offensively, but defensively. So like this is very good. So then after he blocks after Jinbe blocks who's finger pistol, he ends up using a fisherman karate move called shark grab. He ends up grabbing his wrist, but at the same time as he's grabbing his wrist, that's when who's who pretty much do like a sneak attack kick, and he kicks Jinbe across the face. I guess like leaving a scar maybe, but it's just like a burst of line, like air, like like attack or whatever going across his face, right? Who's who hits him with a single attack, kicks him in the face. As let me see, I'm sorry, and then as who's who fires Fang pistol, he fires a Fang pistol at close range, catching Jinbe. Look like made the shoulder and like part of his face. Jinbe just pretty much just like muscles through it. Like he's still holding on to this dude, and that's when Jinbe turns around and says, "Fisherman Karate, ultimate attack." And the ultimate attack that he hits him with is called Gargoyle Tile Fist. Now, clean hit, catches who's who. It looks like who's who may be out for the moment, but because he's a zone type, ancient zone type, we don't know. And I'm hoping like he's down because I don't want Jinbe to use like his best attack and this guy pretty much eats it. And because in my book, if he turns around, he eats this ultimate fisherman karate attack and eats it. What else can Jinbe do to like beat this dude if your final move doesn't do anything to him? But if he does get back up, we get to prolong this so far a great fight. And as I said, with this material, this would be better for the anime. Because I know the anime is going to definitely add more to it, make it bigger, better, especially more flashier. So, like I said, this chapter, let me see, Jinbe. So that right? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Like I'm just all over the place. But and yeah, this chapter was great. Um, yeah, I know. Like I said, I have my notes, but also at the same time, like I'm thinking about like other stuff that's popping in my head. This chapter for me, I definitely give it like, pardon the sirens. This chapter, I definitely give it like a 9 out of 10. This is a great chapter, and also too, like before I forget, you could tell like when Jinbe hit Who's Who, the gargoyle Towel Fist, how pissed off he was that this guy, I guess, was making light of his people's history, especially uh, again, apologize for the sirens. I live in New York, yeah, but especially when we seen like in the beginning of this chapter when they was showing them talk, and he called him a slimy fisherman, and Jim was like, now in today's times, that's considered derogatory. So like, I like how this fight is cultural, political, and like just like so much, and then like the history, like this fight is just like levels on top of levels of different things, and like Jinbe represents like like a new hope, and I guess Who's Who represents like the old tyranny, like how the world government see the fishermen and things like that. Like I said, this chapter was a great chapter. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's just nice. This is just a great fucking chapter. Unfortunately, we're on break next week. But like I said before in my other videos, Oda always give us great bangers, beautiful chapters, and the man definitely deserves a break. Um, I guess I end the video here. StarMo0718. You know what I say. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Yo, let's have a conversation, yo. I'm out.